my name is Makwana. Like I said, I am from Malala Dau, and I run a business called Prime Coaching. The tagline is Empowering Lives, Creating Solutions. Empowering Lives, Creating Solutions. I understand that as people develop and as people get better, they can improve their careers, they can improve their businesses, they can improve their organizations. Everything else that we see around us is because of the individuals behind that. Again, let's all say this together. Everything we see today, just in 1 hour, 30 minutes, I want you to give me all your energy. Like all your energy. Say, everything we see today, is a result of intentional individuals. Nothing beautiful that I see today, was not created without an individual. I believe in the statement that when people improve, everything else around them can improve, right? When individuals improve, when we improve our attitude, instead of being bitter when we smile, instead of being, arrogant and showing that politeness, when we improve in the way, the energy we take out to the universe, we can ultimately improve ourselves. I'm saying this from an experience. 20 years back, that was 8 years, when I was 8 years, I lived at Malala Dau village, and I didn't want to go to school. My parents would say, he should go back to school. I still remember to this day, Mama Tsaba, she was the principal, coming to our home, but I couldn't listen to that. What I did is hanging around a friend on a special. My name by then, Mabozo. I don't know what it means even to this day. And what happened was, people said, you guys are either going to end up in prison or you are going to get killed by other people. You guys are going to end up being killed by people or you're going to end up in prison. And it was true. I nearly went to a prison for something people stole and they thought it was me. And at some point, people told us, again, to cut the story short, it's all in my book, The Birth of Greatness. But what ended up happening is that my friend ended up being killed by people. My friend ended up being killed by people, and especially again. So he passed away, and I was not killed by people. Why? Because I got in a position where I realized if I keep doing what I am doing, I will keep getting the results people are saying I'm going to get, right? So I realized then that it's not what other people are saying, it's about what I am doing that can influence the result that I want in my life, right? Say it's not about others.
It's not about others.
Say it's all about me.
It's all about me.
Everything, guys, everything, whether it's a job you are seeking for, an internship you are seeking for, anything that you are looking for, starting a business, it's all about you. Things are not happening right now because people are not taking ownership of that they have to be taking, right? Say, I should take ownership.
I should take ownership.
Taking ownership is introduce us to what I want to talk about today, which is personal development and personal leadership. That when we work on ourselves, when we develop ourselves, we ultimately develop everything around us. When we develop our attitude, we ultimately improve everything around us. Nothing around us will change until we change as an individual, right? Say, nothing will change.
Nothing will change
until I change.
Until I change.
Everything else
is
waiting for me to change.
Is waiting for me to change.
When you take that as an ownership in your life, to understand that everything else you are getting is because of what you are putting out, you stop blaming other people and you start being intentional in craving your path to become your best self, right? What are organizations looking for? Organizations are not looking for just individuals. They are looking for value, right? They're looking for what?
Value.
Say, organizations are looking for people who can create value.
Organizations are looking for people who can create value.
And I have the good news for you. Working with different organizations, big organizations, some of them you know, I work with employees from different organizations on how they can create a high-performance culture. That some people, yes, will present a CV that says, I can work an extra mile. I can work without supervision. I am self-initiative. I am driven by results. But when they get to organizations, it's no longer their identity. They are now driven by bosses. They can only go an extra mile when someone is standing by, to this month. So we have people who are saying they can do things, but when they are given an opportunity, they are not able to do that. So now, personal leadership is not only preparing you to get the job, but it's preparing you to maintain and excel in your job. Personal leadership is not only, oh, I just want to attend this session only before I get a job. Learning is a lifetime commitment. Let's all say that.
Learning is a lifetime commitment.
The day you stop learning is the day you stop being relevant in today's economy. The day you stop understanding how things work is the day you are disconnected from everyone else. We are living in an environment where people only want to learn or only want to take action when what happens? When they are in pressure. When do we normally say we want to lose weight? When do you normally say, hey, I want to start buying flowers and calling him every day? So human beings are just like that. We only want to take action when something is happening. But that's not personal leadership. We only want to take action. I need to attend BW graduate sessions. Even when you have a job, you still have to come back because you want to learn what is happening around you. Again, so point number one, that one you should write it down. Make learning your lifetime commitment. Now, under personal leadership, point number one, make learning your lifetime commitment. Again, or say I should make learning.
I should make learning
my lifetime commitment.
my lifetime commitment.
All right, I'll explain that in a few. Make learning your lifetime commitment. Make learning your lifetime commitment. And this is the statement I want to start with. From his book, recent book, John C. Maxwell, one of the leadership experts, in his book, Leadership, where he's saying, in today's environment, where things are changing every second, we cannot keep up with what is changing if we are not changing, right? So he said this statement, you cannot remain the same and be the same and act the same if you want to succeed in an environment that keeps on changing. You cannot remain the same, be the same, think the same if you want to succeed in an environment that keeps on changing, right? We are living in an environment which I explained fully in my second book, Create Your Own Economy. Do something for yourself today. I said, we are living in the gig economy where right now, and I have an opportunity today for people who is good in editing, who is good in graphic design? No one, that's fine. So we are living in an environment where people are remaining with knowledge they have learned at school and they are hoping they can get an opportunity that matches what they've learned 2 years ago. We are living in a community, I'll repeat that, where young people are hoping that a job opportunity that really matches their qualification will show up. But it does not keep showing up. There's always something they are adding. Come on, so what the driver's license is a must. You know what is going to be a must? Self-discipline is a must. We are going to be moving in that. And if we are not upgrading ourselves, if we are not learning, we are not going to get any opportunities. I wish I could say something differently from that. But point number one is, if you are not learning and upgrading yourself, you are not going to get any upgraded opportunities. We live in an environment where people are hoping to go for the next level, but they are not willing to upgrade themselves personally. Everyone can say they want something. If I can ask you right now, the whole day, everyone will be listening, hey, I want this, say, I want that, say. But up until we own our personal leadership and able to upgrade ourselves to get in a position where we are behaving ourselves into opportunities, none will happen. Say, I'll behave myself
I will behave myself
into opportunities.
into opportunities.
I will not talk myself
I will not talk myself
into opportunities.
into opportunities.
I really want us to repeat that one. I will not talk myself
I will not talk myself
into opportunities.
into opportunities.
So many times we are talking of what we want to get, the kind that we want to get, but we are not behaving ourselves into what we want to get, because we are living in a community where people are not hiring by what you said you can do, but by what you can actually do. I'm going to give you two scenarios from our point number one. There is a gentleman one, say, Mr. Makwana, comes to my office, I want to work for your company. I am good with graphic designs. I'm really bad, you can ask my friend, right? This is number one person. Then this number two person comes in, say, Mr. Makwana, I want to work for your organization. I am really good with the graphics. In fact, here's the video that I did yesterday. Which among them would you like to Give them a chance. Why? Because he showed his value to me. So we don't talk ourselves into opportunities. We behave ourselves into opportunities, right? So up until we get in a position, because everyone today, they can say good about what they can do, right? Let us internalize that. Everyone today can say good of what they can do. We are living in a community where social media now, we can hide behind the keyboard. Even those who are not confident today, they are confident to write something. So now, with that kind of junk, thousands of people sending emails, which one should I reply to? So it's the question of personal leadership. Can I be able to go and present myself and say, this is what I can do, and really showing the work you can do? So point number 2, I'm getting into this to point number 2, expose your skill set. I get number 1, knowledge. I get number 2, expose your skill set. Expose your what?
Skill set.
Yeah. One day, you will be called to serve, and you must be ready. So you have to upgrade your skill, you have to improve your brand, and you have to be ready to serve. One day, you will be called to serve in any area of your life you want to serve at. There comes a point where the only person people can call is you. But you must get in that position with a ready mindset. Again, with a ready what?
Mindset.
Let's say one day,
I
will be called
will be called
to serve in my area of influence.
to serve in my area of influence.
But I must be ready
But I must be ready
when that time comes.
when that time comes.
I want to sum up that with a quote from Les Brown. He said, "It is better to be prepared and have no opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared." It is better to be prepared and have no opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Again, in this time where everyone is waiting and everyone is going an extra mile to make sure they get the job they want, they start the business they want, there comes a point, I don't know how it happens, but the universe answers all of us, and people who regret most are not those who got the opportunities, but people who were not ready when that opportunity presented itself. Like right now, I just asked that I need 3 editors who can do book editing for my business, Prime Publishers, and I need a graphic designer who can do book covers. And none of us is not in that position, again. But we must at all times put ourselves in an area where we are willing to learn, even if we don't feel like learning. Up until we get in a position where we are saying, I am willing to learn, and you make learning your personal mission and commitment, then you will be ready to serve. Again, because I was talking to a mentor, and he was saying, people may not call you now. Let's say people may not call you now. Opportunities may not come now.
Opportunities may not come now.
The calls you are waiting for may not come now.
The calls you're waiting for may not come now.
But be ready. But I must be ready
But I must be ready
when they come.
when they come.
So I am challenging you guys to understand one principle of life. The greatest people who are making breakthroughs are not those who can run faster, are not those who are more talented, are not those who are more skillful, but it's about a matter of being at the right time, at the right place. And we can only do that when we make personal leadership our lifetime commitment, when we are saying, I am willing to learn, I am willing to expose myself. And up until you are in a position ready, nothing will show up. Life operates in this principle of the law of attraction. The law of what?
Attraction.
The law of what?
Attraction.
You are not going to attract anything that you are not. You are not going to attract any position, any job, any opportunity that you are not. Let's also say together, I am not
I am not
going to attract any opportunity
going to attract any opportunity
that I am not.
that I am not.
Okay, point number 3 leaves us with this. Let's all say, for things to change,
For things to change,
I have to change.
I have to change.
Say it like you mean it. Say, for things to change,
For things to change,
I have to change.
I have to change.
That is point number 3. And in quotations, you can write Jim Rohn. Those are the words of Jim Rohn. He was one of the leading personal development coach. And one day he said he went to his mentor and said, "Sir, I have issues in my life." Let's all say issues.
Issues.
So we all have issues.
We all have issues.
So he said, "I have issues in my life because what is happening is the weather is not always right for me to do what I want to do. Right? The economy is not always right. Job opportunities are not available." So he kept on blaming so many other things that were outside his control. I get it. He kept on blaming that, but he went to his teacher and he said, "Why is it that things are not going the way I thought they should go?" We all get in a position where we don't understand why things are not going the way we want them to go. And Jesus said, "I wonder that sometimes the things we expected we don't get." I get it. The money we hope for we don't get, right? And everything else we thought it will go our way sometimes does not go our way, right? So he said, he went to his mentor and his mentor said, "You are blaming everything else, but you haven't blamed yourself." I get it. You are blaming everything else, but you are not blaming yourself. So you are not owning that personal leadership. You are not owning the things you are doing as an individual. So you keep on blaming other things but yourself. I get it. Let's say I may blame everything, but things change for me when I start blaming myself. I may blame everything, but things change for me when I start blaming myself. That sometimes we look outside and we are not sure of what is going to happen tomorrow, but up until we own it to ourselves and say, "I am the one. I am the faulty one." And you start looking at yourself and say, "What skill set should I develop? What kind of knowledge should I have? What kind of network should I create? What kind of opportunity should I start working on?" Because everything else is waiting for you to do something. There are certain things that I normally teach on my personal development coaching. And I say this, there is what I call the law of the unexpected return. That you take one step and it opens many other doors. I don't know how it happens, but there comes a point in our lives when we take just one step and it opens everything. So we have to have the courage to do what? To take a step of doing something. So your takeaway, just do something. Do something. Even if it's selling, even if it's volunteering, I know there are people who talk much about that. But do something so that you put yourself in a position where when people are not calling you, it's not that you are not qualified, but it's because they are better themselves. Get in a position where people are not calling you, not because you're not qualified, but because just that they are better at you. And you can only do that when you own up your personal leadership and saying, "Everything is my fault." Let's say this together. Everything is my fault.
Everything is my fault.
Let's say everything is my fault.
Everything is my fault.
And up until we get in a position where we say, "Everything is my fault," we are not going to take any action. I am not going to be able to create these opportunities for me, therefore I will blame the other person. But things begin to change for us in our lives, guys, when we start blaming ourselves, when we take ownership of the things that we want to do. Say, take ownership.
Take ownership.
Up until we take ownership, nothing. Thank you, sir. I can program Milano. Up until we take ownership, nothing we can do. That's how learning is done. Through repetition, people get it. Now you are into it. So up until we take ownership, then things can change for us. And remember what we are saying in this point number 3. We are saying for things to change, I have to change. And I shared you about my story, that things were going the way they were going because of who I was, right? And the moment I started saying, I want to do things differently, then that's when things became different. For some of us, maybe we have been looking for a job for a year, 2, or we've been working maybe, and we want to go to the next level. But the truth of the matter is this: nothing will change up until we do something different. Nothing will change up until we introduce something different. In my teachings, I share a quote from physics: a body at rest will remain at rest until an external factor causes it to behave somehow. A body in motion will remain in motion until an external factor causes it to behave somehow. And then when we personalize it, a person who is not working will remain. Come on, guys, I'm not guessing anyone. A person who's not working will remain not working up until they do something different. A person who have been applying this way will remain applying that way until they change. A person in an abusive relationship will keep in an abusive relationship until they walk away. A person earning 20 pula a month will continue earning
20 pula.
until they change, right? We can go on and on and on and on again. A person blaming their parents will continue blaming their parents until they change, right? A person blaming their boss at their working area will continue blaming their boss until they change. So everything else will remain the way it is until someone changes, and your life will remain the way it is the way right now. I'm not a prophet, but I have eyes I can see. Your life will remain the way it is until you change. So sometimes all we need to do is to take a step. And as we take a step, we open other doors that we couldn't open if we were blaming, complaining, finger pointing, and mourning. Right? Up until we take a step, nothing will change. I know you have been applying. I know you have been called for interviews. But at the end of the day, nothing in the outside will change up until you make a personal change. And personal leadership is about that. Making a personal choice to say, I've tried this for 5 years, now I'm changing the style. All you need to do is to change. Then, for things to change, I have to change, right? For things to change,
I have to change.
let's all say it together. For things to change,
For things to change,
I have to change. Let's say it together. For things to change,
For things to change,
I have to change. All right. So, up until we change, guys, nothing will change. In the opening of my second book, Embrace Your Greatness, Create Your Own Economy, do something for yourself today. And I mean like selling in Zaman. I mean like doing anything you can possibly do. Right? I open up with a story. I said one day, a young man was passing on the street. And passing on the street, he sees this young, old man sitting on his dog and with a dog by his side. The dog was groaning and moaning. And he said something. The young boy asked, "Sir, what's wrong with your dog?" The old man answered back to the young boy, "It is sitting on a nail." And then he said, "Why don't you help it?" He said, "It's not hurting enough. If it was hurting enough, it would rise up from the nail." So sometimes it's not about other people. It's the fact that we are not hurting enough in our circumstances that pushes us to go to the next level. It reminds me of a story back in 2005. I went to the clinic and it was late in the evening. It was not check-in time. I went in and checked my sister. My sister was there lying in the hospital bed, the one who comes after me. Very brilliant young kid. And my mother said, "Tomorrow we are coming out of the hospital." And coming out of the hospital, it means tomorrow you should come and collect us. That is Bobono Private Hospital, right? And what happens was I said, "Oh no, don't wake her up. I will see her tomorrow. Don't wake her up, I will see her tomorrow." Because I think maybe it's the only time. And my mom was telling that, "No, it's today she's feel much better." And she managed to sleep. She normally don't sleep. She's always mourning. And these breathing pains, as she breathes, she feels the pain on the chest, right? I said, "No, if that's so, let her sleep." I went back home, rushed home, so happy, tell my younger brothers who am I staying with, because my mother was there with our sister at the hospital. In the next morning, I received a call. My mom, "Oh, you want me to come and pick you?" She said, "No, your sister is late." Right? And I wrote about it in my book, The Birth of Greatness, the first book, when I said there's no tomorrow. Some of us today, we have been trying and trying and trying, and we are giving up what we can do today to do it to do tomorrow. Again, and there is no tomorrow. Let's all say there's no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
Let's say there's no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
So, for things to change, I have to change. It means now we have to change our sense of agency. We are not going to do it tomorrow. No, the closing date, yes, is December, but we can do it today. Let's say we can do it today.
We can do
So
it
we are not going to wait for the closing line, right? We are not going to wait for the closing day and we rush around and say, "Hey, please help me." Sometimes people are not helping you because you're not doing things on time. So for things to change, sometimes not the CV. If the job opens today, can you apply today? Can you go to them today without applying and ask them, "But what kind of person are you looking for? What kind of person are you looking for?" But over that, you don't know, "I'm not looking for a job." Or you say, "Yes, I'm looking for a job." Sometimes that's your differentiating factor. How different is your application from others? So for things to change, you have to move away from doing the things other people are doing them and doing them in your own style. And that thing, I'm not blaming you. It does not happen until you own it to yourself and say, "My personal leadership style is that I do things on time." Right? Right?
Yes.
There is no tomorrow. And sometimes you are sitting waiting for tomorrow because where you are is not hurting enough. You know, there are people who are getting jobs because they are staying with their brother or a sister. Every day when she goes back to the place, so they are not saying that enough to push you to do that today. So you are sitting like a dog in that nail, and people are saying, you are like that dog, you are still mourning on that nail. And up until you create a sense of urgency in your life and say, can I do it today? Can I go an extra mile today? If I was making 3 calls, can I make 10 calls today? Up until you do that, guys, your life will continue to be the way it was before. It will continue to be the same way. And we know the people. We have different stories. When we meet them, whether we are happy or not happy. Hey, can I have an pizza? Rab. Tomorrow, on pizza, rab. Next week, on pizza again. Same story. You even know before they tell you. Even nowadays, you are not even asking them how are you because rab again. So we have stories we keep telling ourselves, but the story of our lives will not change up until we change. That's it, guys.